lockdown, and I was contemplating being the pastor of a church, and a fairly big church. I had elders. The hospital system in Nigeria, all over the world, the medical facilities were jam-packed. However, here in Nigeria, we had an incident whereby, when you go to the hospital for whatever challenge and you need medical attention, every medical case was assumed to be COVID unless proven otherwise. So in the course of going to have a test done and come and be sure that you are COVID negative before they will attend to you in the hospital, we've lost 2 members. Then there is a family friend who also lost her dad because the dad had a cardiac issue, but they wouldn't attend to him. They asked them to go and get their COVID negative results done. At the end of the day, the man died in the ambulance when he was left in the ambulance for about 5 hours. So I was contemplating what I could do, in what way I could help people boost their immune system so that we can have some respite. Then I came across information via BFAD, who happens to be a childhood friend, as it were, that why not sign up for phytoscience stem cells? So I got online, read about it, and a few days later, I was up. Straight to the testimonies so that I don't bore us with some other unnecessary details. So I signed up for the Gold Booster Platinum to Auto Platinum package. So after collecting the DS for our package, I had to give out to many people in the church, in the family, friends, and so on and so forth. And just like just like a child's play, testimonies began to trickle in. So I will try and unpick a few of them this evening. Maybe at some other time I'll be able to do a more comprehensive package. One of the elders I gave came back to me because she had issues with her BP. That was her own major concern. She's a grandma in my church. So I told her, don't worry, I'm going to get something across to you. I sent her a packet of double stem cell, complimentary packet. I gave her about 2 or 3 sachets of, 5 sachets of Snowfield. Then after exhausting the first packet, she now decided that she wanted to buy more. So for a couple of months consistently, she stuck with the double stem cell. I don't know what she saw. I don't know why. So one day, she now told me and said, she said, does this product work for every part of the body? I said, well, I was actually waiting for your testimony first before I will enlighten you on what it is. She said, what actually happened is that she's had partial deafness in one of her ears for several years, maybe upwards of 20 years or thereabouts. She said suddenly she realized that in these few weeks she has been taking double stem cell, the ear suddenly popped open. But she was in doubt that could it be that this was given to her because of her BP issues. So it was then I told her that as long as it's something that is established on the cell of your body, that every cell of the body will be revitalized, the dead ones will be eliminated and replaced. Okay, she stuck with it. I tried getting her on a conference call with BFAD recently because I wanted him to hear the testimonies so that he could bring the testimonies to the floor here. The mama said within 2 months of her double stem cell that the BP was resolved permanently. She never had any issues with BP again since then. The third thing she didn't tell me was that she had glaucoma. And after all the tests and checks that she's gone through, it's been concluded that she has to undergo a surgery in her eyes. As at 2 months ago, as at 3 months ago, the doctor couldn't understand what was going on in the eyes. They told her the eye pressure was back to normal. The surgery has been cancelled.
Wow. Reactions, please.
That was that about that mommy. I want to proceed to another. Personally, for about over 10 years, I don't make a mistake of doing a shower with cold water. It has to, even if it's as sunny as fire, I always do my shower with hot water. And coupled with the fact that I live in an environment where electricity is very stable because we are not on national grid. So the electricity thing and being able to have access to regular shower and water, at any time of the day was key to my own health, because I noticed that whenever I have cold shower, I always have body itches. So I overheard at a conference, something like that, some time ago, that if you have your shower and your body itches you, it's a sign of toxin in your body. So when I heard about Snowfield, I felt this was an opportunity to give this product a trial. And I took Snowfield. One day, mistakenly, I don't know, okay, we had been notified that there will be some maintenance on our power plant, as it were. So I had to go do the shower, and I just carelessly had a cold water shower. And I came out of the bathroom and I realized that there were no itches. So I thought maybe that was a mistake. I tried the next one, tried the third one, tried the fourth one. Since then, I had been back with having my shower without hot water till this evening, just before this presentation. That was something I battled with for about 10 to 12 years. Okay, I move on to my son. About this time last year, my son went to play ball in the estate, and he came back with some bites of sunflies. Then, after a few days, we noticed that his hand had some rashes, and the hand was turning white. This is somebody who is dark in complexion. So my wife started trying everything she could. We saw a pediatrician, we did everything. Then, because of the lockdown, there was a prolonged period of product scarcity. So I now heard about Miracle Intense, the triple stem cell. So finally, when we got triple stem cell much later in the year, in addition, I now started administering the triple stem cell Miracle Intense. In addition to the rashes, he had another hand that wasn't infected, but he had something there that was strange. It was as if that back of his hand was burnt with fire. It was jet black. I took him to the bathroom, I washed it myself, I scrubbed it with the sponge, I did everything we could do. The doctors couldn't really explain what it was, so they just ignored it. After administering Miracle Intense, both hands are perfectly back to normal, perfectly. You can't see any trace that any of those things I mentioned ever happened. The day I will be able to prepare for these presentations, maybe I will come with some of the pictures and videos, because I had it in mind that I was going to share the pictures and the videos. Okay, I want to go to another one that is even more recent. A childhood friend of mine, since about 2003, I'm aware that he has had chronic ulcer. He also had issues with his blood sugar. They've been managing it one way or the other. In a couple of other things that cropped up in the course of his health, that he had undergone 2 surgeries. Okay, earlier this year, he sent me a message that he was down. I thought it was just maybe fever or something minor. He would get over it within a short while. So I asked him to keep me posted. And of course, he got over it within a short while. So he was back to life. But about 2.5 months ago, if a friend of ours in the UK buzzed me on WhatsApp and said, our friend's wife informed him that they had to rush our friend to the hospital. I said, rush to the hospital? What happened? He said he hasn't gotten the details yet. Fast forward, I connected with them and I was going to get the details. So the wife explained that for a while he couldn't eat well, that when he eats, he will throw up. Then by the time they rushed him to the hospital, he has gotten to the point whereby no food could go down through his digestive system. Anything he puts into his mouth, he throws up. You know, Prof, you were talking about our intestine, earlier ago. That's one of the reasons why I want to share this testimony. When a scan was done and all the checks were carried out on him, it was discovered that there was a tumor that has blocked his intestine that wouldn't allow any food to pass, any food substance at all. So a surgery was booked for immediately for him. The surgery took place. We thank God it was successful. And if you know anything about stuff like this, the tumor had to be sent to the laboratory for a check, whether it is malignant or so on and so forth. So it was confirmed that it was cancerous. After the first surgery, a couple of days thereafter, he was on some antibiotics, still on admission. When the consultant checked him again, and they said that his response isn't yet okay, they had to open him up again because there was a particular fluid coming out of his nose that nobody could explain what it was about. They had to do a CT scan, they did everything. So after the second surgery, he improved. Then, having confirmed that the tumor was cancerous, and as I speak with you, I have the medical report on my phone. It was sent to me. I have the full details. I read it myself. So it was stated in that report that though it responds positively to chemotherapy. So the next thing the hospital was going to do was, after the second surgery and about 2 weeks of antibiotics, was to commence chemotherapy and radiotherapy in between. But my friend declined chemotherapy. So since he declined chemotherapy, he had to be discharged and he went back home. Then he was left with some very strong antibiotics, very strong ones. He was taking them. So on one occasion, the wife got across to me and said, her husband was losing weight so drastically, even more than when he was in the hospital. I couldn't figure out what it was. As God will have it, there is a church program that they needed to come and attend at my end. We missed, we couldn't see because the crowd was large, Then 2 days later, he came to Lagos, and because he lives in Ibadan, he came to Lagos, and precisely on the 10th of August, this month, August ends today, precisely on the 10th of August, this month, I saw him. When I saw him that day, I was almost broken. Even as a pastor, my faith was shaking. If I had not read the medical report myself, I would have concluded that probably it was a case of full-blown AIDS, and they were trying to manage the information because he had emaciated completely. He could hardly stand on his own. So when I saw how lean he had become, I didn't even allow him get down from the car. I just encouraged him, I prayed with him, and I handed over Crystal Cell and Actra Plus to him. I said, these are the only stem cells I have at the moment. Just go and kickstart it tomorrow. Then, in the course of the week, I got more Actra Plus and Crystal Cell, and I sent to him. Please don't forget that this man had had chronic ulcer since 2003, at least to the best of my knowledge. After about 8 days, I asked the wife, how is he doing? Of course, we were in touch almost every day, but I was counting. After about 8 days, what's the progress today? The wife said she was surprised yesterday that her husband wanted to eat, and he said, and he asked her to fry egg for him and put pepper there. So she reminded him and said, don't forget that you've not been eating pepper, because we had a reunion in 2019 when we were served amala and he was to have his meat. He had to rinse the meat from the tap at the restaurant and ate his amala with only ewedu. 1 or 2 people on the platform tonight who could bear witness to what I'm saying. He had to rinse it because he could not stand the taste of pepper. The wife said she was amazed that he ate egg that contained pepper, no reaction. He has not eaten beans in about 2.5 years. He ate it, no reaction. He ate akara and all these things that had bits of pepper in them, no reaction, and today he's eating well. After about 10 days, the wife confirmed to me that even the facial structure that has reduced to virtually a skeleton is almost back to normal. Today makes exactly 3 weeks, because when we on Tuesday, it was in the evening like this. So he commenced the stem cell therapy on Wednesday, 11th of August, to treat his cancer. Beloved brethren, as of today, the wife is even now recommending to others whom she has heard that had cancer that, look, without any doctor, I am the one administering this stem cell thing on my husband. I can tell you for a fact that it's working. Brethren, I would like to encourage everyone here tonight, whether you are interested in the business arm of it or not, whether you are interested in whatever about it or not, please don't allow another human being to suffer under the face of the sun. Please, let nobody suffer for no cost because of diabetes. Let nobody die because of cancer. Our stem cells are up to the task. Thank you. God bless everyone tonight.
Reactions, please. Thank you so much, sir. This is indeed wonderful. Our products work.
That is very interesting. Very sorry. I just came out of the. You just made that. Wow. Slot line. Wow, this is interesting. I'm glad at this news. I'm glad at these testimonies, and I'm glad at the closing.